Good morning, everyone. Ah, it's really quiet again, isn't it? Yes. I just had Gus in here, but I had to put him out. he's so affectionate, and he just wants you to pet him, and and he's so big. Yeah, it's like, gosh, alrighty then. Yeah, and I just put him out, and the way to put him out is grab a little treat right from the box, and then he'll go straight out. Oh, what? Yes. All right. So without having me to grab him, we just forget it. He's too big. Right? You got to figure when you deal with giants, right? You got to figure out another way than to basically just about have to manhandle them to do what you want them to do, right? Yes? Okay. A little dog I could just pick up and put outside, done, right? But not with him. And so the big news all around the world is what right now, right? Elon Musk bought Twitter for $44 billion. I mean, dear me. Yep. I wonder sometimes why people have so much money. It's insane. Net worth. Not just. I saw another one where Mark Zuckerberg. So it has to do with the stock markets. I don't know really how that affects him otherwise because that money really isn't in anybody's hands. It's just there in numbers. But, yeah. So one of the meta thing, which again, I know I've seen that, and and it shows up and it does something, and it has to do with people's privacy, maybe this, that. And I'm going, well, I don't have any secrets, okay? So I'm good. And not only that, I'm thinking, well, yeah, if somehow what I have to say and give out there and teach, gets more recognized through that or watched, that's good. That's good. Yeah. Well, anyway, so from 130 billion, it dropped down to 47 billion, net worth. And I'm going, whoa, wow, yeah, huh? It's so much money still, right? It's an unbelievable amount that I know everybody that I know, and I know a lot of people. If we'd had $47 billion altogether, we could quit. Everybody could quit their job, pay off their homes, pay off all their bills, right? And go on a tour around the world, vacation for years and years, and then come home and just la di da di da. Inflation wouldn't matter. Nothing would matter, right? We could all install everything in our homes where we would be completely off the grid, still have everything we want. I'm just saying, right? I mean, if you look at it that way. So, yeah. Oh, hire people, to grow the gardens, to do this, to raise animals, and supply everyone with good nutritious food. Okay, I'm just saying. Here are these giants out there, right? Mostly men. There's a few women, but mostly men, right? And they have this amazing amount of money to work around the world. Right? Here's this Elon Musk, and he buys Twitter, and the first thing he does is, yeah, we're gonna not have some people here anymore, who are very biased. About certain things, and so there it is, right? I thought about that and going, oh, maybe that's why. Huh? Some people around the world make this much money that eventually then there is one that comes along that you see on the side of God, right? So in the Bible, right, we're reading, Abraham has all this stuff, possessions, and in a way he's even handed more. So what is he doing with it? Right? Yeah, it's on the side of God. supposedly. As I said, restoration's always going on, but Abraham's heart to mind is on the side of God. That's the important part to know. Even if there are still things happening where I personally have to say, that's not God's point of view. Those are not the laws of heaven yet. So we have these gentle giants out there, right? I find a lot of giants out there with a lot of money. This and that. They do exactly what is allowed now to them because they have so much money, and that is exert power, exerting power over people. It's a different type of slavery. We're all a part of it, really, in a way, right? And the one thing that always really irks me is when I hear people are afraid to speak up for good, for fairness, for the right thing, because of fear of getting fired, right? Losing their jobs, or downright ostracized, put in prison, right, for doing their job. So anyway, it'll be interesting to see what's going on with all that, right? And so we'll see. Then there's a whole lot of stuff going around now about the vaccine again. I don't think we'll ever really get the truth about it, and that is that. Right? I think the damage either is done or some of the damage alleviated one way or the other, and now we have to just live with it. Right? So to continuously try and figure out, okay, isn't going to do anything. We have to move forward now. Right? And the best thing is go and read up on what actually the problems could be with this vaccine, or if you have COVID, haven't been vaccinated, and what you can do to strengthen your own body, right? Yes? Yeah. And so, blood clots can be taken care of. So, again, so more people going to run to the doctor now, this, that. I said, it's one of those things, is it really connected to all that so many young people are passing? Not in my immediate family, but extended family, a baby of 1 month old was just buried yesterday. Supposedly died of SIDS. When they did the autopsy, found that the baby actually had COVID. No symptoms, but had COVID. Mom had COVID while she was pregnant. So I don't know if she was vaccinated or not. As far as I know, some time ago, it was fine for mothers to be vaccinated. So again, we don't know. It's like one of these, we're tapping in the dark 75% of the time. And the 25% that are visible are just, how do you say, are side effects, right? Yes? Yeah. Anyway. So, again, I think it's important to make people aware of, hey, we're having a spike in, or this or that. And I don't know, is it true? Or it's just more noticeable? Did we notice these things before COVID? Or is it just now suddenly studies are done, where if they would have been done beforehand, we'd find, but it was like that before too. It's just now we're noticing it more, right? Paying more attention, are made aware of every case, just about. You see? Okay. It's good to know, okay? Maybe something's off here now with people's systems and all that. But then we need to move forward, be more aware. I think it's especially men who need to be more aware of their health, heart health, right? Yes? Yeah. Anyway. when things are already done, happened, this, that, it makes very little sense to me to keep harping around on the problem. It's more, okay, what are the solutions? And what do we do now? Because as I said, it's already done. How many people did get the vaccine? What is awaiting them? What is awaiting the next generations of the ones that did get vaccinated? How about the ones who didn't get vaccinated? What if? Are we ever going to find out exactly what the nature of this virus, where it actually came from, how it has been manipulated or not? We will never know the truth. It's not going to happen. Yes, except for the ones who were there, and they're not going to tell you. I don't think so. Anyway, so, and one thing I like to mention is that it seems like, unless of course they all got placebos, there's many, the presidents, the people in the Senate, the Congress, all them politicians, this, that, many other people, rich and powerful, they all got vaccinated. Well, they're not dropping like flies. So, right? I mean, so we're all in the same boat together in a way. We got to be careful when we hype up things, assume things. That's never a good idea. They're just rumors and gossip. Okay? Yeah. Not making light of anyone's death, just saying. So, we're in Genesis 24, the marriage of Isaac. By now, Abraham was an old man, well on in years, and Yahweh had blessed Abraham in every way. Abraham said to the senior servant in his household, the steward of all his property, place your hand under my thigh. I'm going to make you swear by Yahweh, God of heaven and God of earth, that you will not choose a wife for my son from the daughters of the Canaanites, among whom I live, but will go to my native land and my own kinsfolk to choose a wife for my son Isaac. Under his thigh. Place your hand under my thigh. That's a weird one. I wonder why he had to swear like that. That's a very intimate gesture, isn't it? The servant asked him, what if the girl does not want to follow me to this country? Should I then take your son back to the country from which you came? Abraham replied, on no account are you to take my son back there. Yahweh, God of heaven and God of earth, who took me from my father's home and from the land of my kinsfolk, and who promised me an oath, I shall give this country to your descendants. He will now send his angel ahead of you so that you can get a wife for my son from there. If then the girl refuses to follow you, you will be quit of this oath to me. Only do not take my son back there. And the servant placed his hand under the thigh of his master Abraham and swore to him that he would do it. So the nice thing about this is, okay, well, you want me to just take your son there? It wasn't, well, if the girl doesn't want to, they could just kidnap her, right, and force her. But that's not happening. Or at least that's not the directive. So that's nice. But even though Abraham says, look, I want him to, it's the buildup of lineage again, I guess. Yet, it's also kind of a separation from the people. Would it have really mattered so much? Did Abraham just have this thought that he wanted to have his son married to one of his own rather than another woman, another girl from another tribe? surely, right, if God has sent him to a place where he says, now, I want you to establish my presence here as well, right, wouldn't it make sense if Isaac would have actually gotten married to a Canaanite girl? Maybe, maybe not. Yeah. Is this where, again, here we are in Genesis. Is this where interracial marriages, in a way, right, suddenly was looked upon as not good, not desirable, and even to be judged and persecuted? You see, we find a lot of things in the Bible that say, wow, this is where it started. The root of the problems. And was it really? Is that really what God desired? Well, anyway, to be strong in one's faith, one must understand the Creator, right? Not just follow the words of whoever wrote this, which supposedly is Moses, but then they're not really sure. Do you know what I mean? That's like me talking, trying to teach, and people go, yeah, but you may have questions. And I'm going, yes, do study. Study the heart of God. Not my heart, but the heart of God. And then your faith becomes strong, where no one can. I was just asking a phone call. So are you still with, that church, Reverend Moon? And I said, well, yes. Why wouldn't I? Absolutely. I'm getting the best. I've gotten the best out of that for my strength of faith than anywhere else. And whatever goes with it, yeah, I'm going to have to just go, well, people are learning. I'm living with other people with different opinions, ideas, and paths in life. So does that mean if there's one thing I'm going, whoa, well, that didn't go quite right. Well, that doesn't compute with the divine principle. Hello, what happened there? And then I decide, well, that's not for me altogether. Well, then am I not also missing out on all the really good things? So yeah, I said, yeah, well, yeah, of course, And the way I was asked was, have you gotten out of that craziness? And I'm going, wow, okay. It's like, oh, that's still important. Right? That is still important. To Abraham is very important that his son Isaac gets married to his old kinfolk. But do not take my son away from him. So he does understand that part, though. Do not take him away, because my descendants, God said, my descendants are going to be multiplying, be fruitful, and successful right here. Right? And again, most likely that meant teach the people who are there about who I am. I am who I am, God, the Creator. Right? And but Abraham didn't quite understand that part, did he? Yeah. He understood, I got to stay there. My son has to stay there. But on how to actually not change the Canaanites, not coerce them in believing, but to just, we're all one people around the world. We're supposed to be all one people, right? So where did this division actually really start? Right here in Genesis already, right? Yes, with a simple, but anyway, this is about the marriage of Isaac. So, oh well, what a big part all that plays, really, when it comes down to the well-being of humankind. Huh? Interesting. Okay, then. The servant took 10 of his master's camels. Camels can live a long time, by the way. And carrying all kinds of gifts from his master, set out for the city of Nahor in Aram Naharaim. In the evening, at the time when women come out to draw water, he made the camels kneel outside the town near the well. And he said, Yahweh, God of my master Abraham, give me success today and show faithful love to my master Abraham. While I stand by the spring, as the young women from the town come out to draw water, I shall say to one of the girls, Please lower your pitcher and let me drink. And if she answers, Drink, and I shall water your camels too, let her be the one you have decreed for your servant Isaac. By this I shall know you have shown faithful love to my master. Oh, interesting. He's choosing in a way where the girl doesn't just see him and his thirst, but also has compassion for the animals. Oh, she'll make a good one. He had not finished speaking when out came Rebecca. Oh, well, that's a close relative, though, isn't it? Here we go again. I'm amazed that all them children came out somewhat normal, I guess. Who was the daughter of Bethuel, son of Milcah, the wife of Abraham's brother Nahor. That's pretty. Those are cousins. They're cousins then. Okay, second. With a picture on her shoulder. The girl is very beautiful and a virgin. Oh, wow. Oh, that had to be mentioned. No man had touched her. Interesting that has to be mentioned here. You would assume, right, at that time, what was already happening there to young girls too, huh? Oh, it's as old as. All right. She went down to the spring. Well, otherwise things like this wouldn't be mentioned. If it would be a good, normal, no violence kind of thing, and then it wouldn't have to be mentioned. Things only have to be mentioned when there is the other side to it as well. The violent side, the taking side of the innocence, for example, of a girl. Anywho, interesting. Well, we come across all kinds of. So rape was already most likely a big part of that society too. Yay. Father, what did you have to deal with all? Running towards her, the servant said, Please give me a sip of water from your pitcher. She replied, Drink, my lord, and quickly lowered her pitcher on her arm and gave him a drink. When she had finished letting him drink, she said, I shall draw water for your camels too until they have had enough. She quickly emptied her pitcher into the trough, and ran to the well again to draw and drew for all the camels. All the while the man stood watching her, not daring to speak, wondering whether Yahweh had made his journey successful or not. When the camels had finished drinking, the man took a gold ring weighing half a shekel and put it through her nose. Ouch! Well, there. For everyone who thinks that a nose ring, That's good information. Next time I see someone with a nose ring, I said, hey, that's a sign of God, by the way. Oh, I wonder, right? Yes? You see? Do you see how you teach without violence? Just letting people say, that's in the Bible, your nose ring. It's a sign of that you're ready to get married or be chosen. But it's a sign that has to actually do with the Creator. Oh, I love it. Interesting. So if you have it, nose ring, you're professing openly your love for God. And now I need one. Nah. I said before. Remember though? Before I haven't read this in a long time. This is the first time I'm reading this Bible, right? Things are a little bit different than the other ones. Interesting though. Remember, I've said in another video on how, when I see people with a nose ring, they remind me of a bull because you put that in their nose. Oh, to control them. That's an easy way to control a bull. Okay. And so he puts the nose ring in her ear, right? What? To control her? You don't want to go? Well, let me just pull on that. All right. Daniela, where are you going with your thoughts? Well, people think one thing is one thing, and then when you come across stuff like this, thousands and thousands of years ago, well, you know what? You're actually not doing anything new. This is very, very old and has a certain symbolism, and one of them is you recognize God in your life. Oh, great. Okay, then. Well, there you go. One looks at things suddenly way different. Well, I'm still not going to put one in my nose. And put 2 bracelets weighing 10 gold shekels on her arms, and said, "Whose daughter are you? Please tell me, is there room at your father's house for us to spend the night?" She replied, "I am the daughter of Bethuel, the son of Milcah, born to Nahor." And she went on, "We have plenty of straw and fodder and room to spend the night." Then the man bowed down and worshipped Yahweh, saying, "Blessed be Yahweh, God of my master Abraham, for not withholding his faithful love from my master. Yahweh has led me straight to the house of my master's brother." Huh. The girl ran to her mother's house to tell what happened. Okay, things are restoring here too, though, it looks like, because Rebecca isn't Abraham's niece, at least, right? And so that they are, looks like there are second cousins, which is already better than first cousins or downright brother and sister, half brother, whatever, right? So, okay. So we're getting away a little bit again from the incest thing, and that's kind of nice to see. That really bothers me, stuff like that. So, the girl ran to her mother's house to tell what had happened. Well, also at that time, they may have not realized what the consequences are of being too close in blood relations when you have children. But then they only talk about certain children. I wonder how if all the children were okay, or how many died. They don't really say. Now Rebekah had a brother called Laban, and Laban ran out to the man at the spring. As soon as he had seen the ring and the bracelets his sister was wearing, and had heard his sister Rebekah saying, "This is what the man said to me," he went to the man and found him still standing by his camels at the spring. He said to him, "Come in, blessed of Yahweh. Why stay out here when I have cleared the house and made room for the camels?" In the house? Okay, all right. That's just the way it says here. The man went to the house, and Laban unloaded the camels. He provided straw and fodder for the camels. Fodder. That's a fodder. Sounds like father to me. Fodder. Fodder. For the camels, and water for him and his companions to wash their feet. I guess they didn't have socks at the time. So you wash your feet. Can you imagine? You walk all this way, your feet get dirty. I know how dirty my feet get being out there. Yep, to wash their feet. Yeah, and clean feet, it's nice. They offered him food, but he said, "I will eat nothing before I have said what I have to say." Laban said, "Speak." He said, Laban said, "Speak." He said, "I am Abraham's servant. Yahweh has loaded my master with blessings, and Abraham is now very rich. That has to be mentioned first. Yes. Yep. He has given him flocks and herds, silver and gold, men and women, slaves, camels, and donkeys. Sarah, my master's wife, bore my master a son in his old age, and he has made over all his property to him. And my master made me take this oath: you are not to choose a wife for my son from the daughters of the Canaanites in whose country I live. Instead, you are to go to my father's home and to my own kinsfolk to choose a wife for my son. I said to my master, suppose the girl will not agree to come with me. And his reply was, Yahweh, in whose presence I have walked, will send his angel with you and make your journey successful, for you to choose a wife for my son from my own kinsfolk, from my father's house. Then you will be quit of my curse. Now they have weird ways of saying certain things. If you go to my family and they refuse you, you will be quit of my curse. Arriving today at the spring, I said, Yahweh, God of my master Abraham, please grant a successful outcome to the course I propose to take. While I stand by the spring, if a girl comes out to draw water and I say to her, please give me a little water to drink from your pitcher. If she replies, drink by all means, and I shall draw water for your camels too, let her be the girl whom Yahweh has decreed for my master's son. I was still saying this in my mind when Rebekah came out, her pitcher on her shoulder. She came down to the spring and drew water. I said to her, please give me a drink. Quickly she lowered her pitcher, saying, drink, and I shall water your camels too. I asked her, whose daughter are you? She replied, I'm the daughter of Bethuel, whom Milcah bore to Nahor. Then I put this ring through her nose and these bracelets on her arms. I bowed down and worshipped Yahweh, and I blessed Yahweh, God of my master Abraham, who had led me by a direct path to choose the daughter of my master's brother for his son. Now tell me whether you are prepared to show constant and faithful love to my master. If not, say so, and I shall know what to do. Interesting, right? The story gets told, then the story gets told again, then the story gets told again, and the story gets told again, and all in exactly the same way. I find often, right, in order to explain oneself really well, right, so that there's no confusion, one has to do that, right? Yes? Yeah. So that then there isn't, well, you never said anything about that. Yeah? Or to also, yeah, how to convince Rebecca's brother of this is the will of God. And the experiences that this servant had on his trip, and when he got there, and trusting, well, this is the path that they went then, trusting God to, as he had said, or Abram had said, the angel would prepare the way. Yes? Laban needed to know that too. Probably may have felt the real protective, as a brother was protective of his sister, and isn't going to just give his sister away to another land somewhere farther away, sounds like it was a day's travel or something. So here is the servant is doing a really, really good job, right? Giving the truth from beginning, what he got from Abraham, told the story again and again and again. Well, did it go exactly like that? Well, that's how it is in here. But again, gives us, what did I talk about beforehand? You catch more flies with the truth than with lies. All right. Anywho. Laban and Bethuel replied, This is from Yahweh. Oh, you see? Because the servant was so diligent and constant about his message to them. Laban and Bethuel, the father of Rebecca, right, and father of Laban, I guess, they could accept, right, it as the truth, rather than, well, it could just be coincidence. Yeah, let's have right. This is from, it is not for us to say yes or no to you. Rebecca is there before you. Take her and go, and let her become the wife of your master's son, as Yahweh has decreed. On hearing this, Abraham's servant bowed to the ground before Yahweh. He brought out silver and gold ornaments and clothes, which he gave to Rebekah. He also gave rich presents to her brother and to her mother. Interesting. So what if the girl doesn't want to come, right? It looks like the family dynamics in Rebecca's family is so good that Rebecca was fine with accepting what her position as a woman was. And again, she wouldn't just have been given to just anyone. Right? This was I wouldn't call that, a transaction between men. This was a very respectful and well thought out way of having a girl marry a man, and it's done between the parents, right? Yes, but it is a lot of responsibility of the parents to make sure that they hand their children, their girls, well, Abraham was the one who decided for Isaac as well, that they make a good choice, right? And of course, the best way to do that is if it's sanctioned by God as well, right? Yeah. Well, anyway, so it sounds like, even what if the girl doesn't want to come? Well, then we're going to have to find a girl that has a good father and a good brother and a good mother, right, who have taught her well. Yes? And, anyway, it's interesting. Again, one can see this however one wants. I could say, well, here we go, huh? Just she doesn't get to choose this, but that's not how I look at it. Not here. Not here. Also, I could see at that time where the girls, well, what did I say beforehand? Right? They go all alone out to the spring to get to the well to get water, right? Mayhem could befall them, but so the girls are well protected. That's a little something that's missing now in society even more. That could bring up a couple of things right now. Where to say, if the parents would have stepped in and stopped that right from the beginning, and some things that are supposed to be, that are law now in school and this, then the girls wouldn't go through what they're going through. So it isn't just the lawmakers out there, the politicians, or the school boards, or this or that. Why are parents out there letting things go so far for their girls and their boys that suddenly now they can't protect them? Yeah, I was a very fierce lioness with my children. Anytime, anything that started, I would nip it in the bud. Was I always successful when it came just to my own children? No. But when it came to their surroundings, where they were at school, this or that, heck yeah, I went. No, I didn't make a big stink. I would just say, yeah, that's not going to happen. And if we can't work together with that, I'm going to the next level. Okay. Nobody wanted to fight with me or take the chance that, and things would get worked out. Sometimes it were things nobody was aware of. Well, really? Yeah, okay. Well, anyway. So again, But in this instance, it sounds like Rebecca was very well cared for and protected by her parents and her brother. Right? Yes. Well, a girl, oftentimes in a family, is the weakest link when it comes down to it. When it's the physical and stuff, they need the most protection. And when you just throw them out there to the wolves, most likely they won't survive, or they'll survive in a miserable way. Right? Yes, I'm just saying. All right, I get into all these things. They ate and drank, he and his companions, and spent the night there. Next morning, when they were up, he said, "Let me go back to my master." Rebekah's brother and mother replied, "Let the girl stay with us for 10 days or so, then she can go." But he replied, "Do not delay me, since Yahweh has made my journey successful. Let me leave and go back to my master." They replied, "Let us call the girl and find out what she has to say." Oh, wow. They called Rebekah and asked her, "Will you go with this man?" She replied, "I will." Accordingly, they let their sister Rebekah go with her nurse and Abraham's servant and his men. They blessed Rebekah and said to her, "Sister of ours." Oh, wait. Bethuel was not. Oh, now I'm all confused. No, it is. So it's not just her brothers. That was her dad. Bethuel is her dad. "Sister of ours, from you may there spring thousands and tens of thousands. May your descendants gain possession of the gates of their enemies." And forthwith Rebekah and her maids, she had maids, but she went and got her own water too. Well. I like her already. Well, we'll see what else happens. Mounted the camels and followed the man. The servant took Rebekah and departed. Isaac, meanwhile, had come back from the well of Lahai Roi and was living in the Negev. Oh, Lahai Roi. Which well was that? That was a. Oh. While Isaac was out walking towards evening in the fields, he looked up and saw camels approaching. And Rebekah looked up and saw Isaac. She jumped down from her camel and asked the servant, "Who is that man walking through the fields towards us?" The servant replied, "That is my master." So she took her veil and covered herself up. The servant told Isaac the whole story. Then Isaac took her into his tent. He married Rebekah and made her his wife. And in his love for her, Isaac was consoled for the loss of his mother. Aww. That's the end of 24. Sounds like a love story, doesn't it? As well. Yeah. So there, right? Yes. Nice ending of a story as well. I can see why when one reads the Bible, you kind of skip over the parts where, I now, have to say, but, and then gets to the conclusion of a chapter, right? And in a way, then, well, all went well. It worked out anyway, right? Yes? I think that another thing in there, I guess one of the main things is the transaction, right? When it comes to a man and a woman in marriage. And how is that conducted? Yes. I think the best thing, right, is when you have your parents' blessing. Right? Yes. One could say so much more to it all. But again, yeah, except for, I'm not quite getting why Abraham would need to go and look for a wife for his son so far away rather than. That is something I question somewhat, just because, and even though, well, Abraham can do what he wants, that's his, if that how he feels most comfortable, right? Yes, maybe also I'm not sure what the uh, relationship was all with everyone around him, but it seems like it was very good. And we saw it in the chapter before with Sarah's passing, with the Hittites. So but Abraham had this thought of, well, but did that kind of start a little bit? That when two people come across you, fall in love, and they're from different tribes, different races, this, that, right? Yeah. Segregation, that's called, right? Yes, only marry your own kind of thing. Did that start a little bit there? So, seems again, right, in this particular chapter or passage, right, 23, we find something that was started that was very counterproductive. But on the other hand, too, we're getting this beautiful example of on how a marriage between a man and a woman should be prepared for. And then on how to the family together decide for the best of either party, right? Not what he's coming with a lot of goodies, so yeah, let's give her away. No, it wasn't like that. They even were trying to get a few more days with her. That's how much they loved her, right? But the servant said, "That night I got to get back. you know, I got to get back." And again, maybe there was a reason for that, because Isaac came towards, and in a way, they both recognized each other as also, right? Oh, okay, yeah. Well, anyway, so there it is. Right? Good, good. It's beautiful. Well, we'll see what happens. Right? It was a beautiful beginning, right? And then the real tests start, or right, the challenges start. To be a successful couple together, then. We'll find out more, I have no doubt. Yes? Well, anyway, it's, again, gives me a little insight into why are people so mean and hateful towards married couples and children of these married couples who found each other across continents somehow. Interesting. Yes. Well, anywho, so there it is. That's what I wanted to share this morning. I got things to do. I say that every time, and then I end up doing completely other things than what's going through my mind right now. It's always, I'm so busy. I just don't have, there's not enough of me to get it all done. Get done what I just want to do in one day anymore. Well, anyway, God's love and blessings always, and protect you, and I will talk to y'all another time.